Rammer Jammer friends, and welcome back to the House Divided College Football Show. Jordan Hair Voodoo. Ooh.
I'm going to rip that jersey off your face and throw it out the window.
This is your host, Micah. We have a couple of recaps to get into. We had some championship games, and then we also had a couple of bowl games. We had the Army-Navy game. Brand new shirt, you guys can see it. It is from the Iron Bowl this year. I love that shirt. It's funny. Sorry, little brother. We're just going to recap some of those really quickly for this week's episode. So, it's time to ask ourselves the question I was asking myself. Is Alabama fraudulent? Or was it just the hurt players and a angry Georgia who just wanted to get through Bama because we broke their home streak earlier in the season? I think it is a mix of both. I think Georgia showed up to play, but ultimately the Crimson Tide lost 28-7. Just had some plays that weren't able to get done. I was disappointed in my boys, but I think that we have a better chance for today's game, and I think we can pull it out and maybe get the dub. The ACC nightmare scenario took place. Duke beat Virginia to win the ACC. Unfortunately, Duke was not ranked high enough to get into the playoffs, so Virginia got knocked out. Duke did not get in. And then we have the Blue Devils up here shaking up the college football playoff. Congrats to the Blue Devils. We loved the chaos, and I was here for it, so congratulations. We also had the Big 12. We had Texas Tech make another statement. They defeated BYU, kept BYU out of the playoffs, handedly defeated BYU both times they played them. Very proud of the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Hope that they do well in the playoff. They will get a bye the first round and then probably play Oregon because let's be honest, Oregon's going to beat JMU. So we have the Big Ten championship game. We had Kirk Cignetti. They finally did it. They got their first Big Ten title game in a long time. And here is the boys. They won. Very proud of Fernando Mendoza. Phenomenal game. If you guys didn't watch that one, it was awesome. We also had the American Championship between North Texas and Tulane. That one was a good game as well. Tulane was able to win the American and secure their spot in the playoff. We also had the Sun Belt game from JMU and Troy. JMU was able to beat Troy, and they were able to get in the playoff themselves. Then also we had Conference USA. Kennesaw State defeated JSU. Unfortunately, I was sad, but I was definitely rooting for them. We had the Mountain West. Boise State ended up winning that game. We also had the MAC. Western Michigan took that one. And then we come to Army-Navy. The score up here. You guys can see that Army was leading most of the game, and then Navy was able to come back and, kind of pull out the win in the end. We also had the Salute to the Veterans Bowl here in the Crampton Bowl. And we saw Troy versus JSU, and JSU was able to defeat Troy. Troy tried to throw a last-minute kind of Hail Mary, got batted up. Troy guy almost caught it, dropped it. It was electric. But yeah, JSU has finally beaten Troy with their oldest rival. We have the Jacksonville State Gamecocks versus the Troy Trojans. And yeah, it was good for them. And they were able to win that game for the first time in the last 7 meetings. Troy had beaten JSU. So congrats to the Gamecocks. You guys can sleep well now. Amazing season. Okay, guys, so we're going to get through the college football news this week. We have Crybaby Notre Dame. They put out this little statement right here. They just didn't want to play. They felt like they got slided after getting left out of the playoff. They got offered a spot, coveted Pop-Tarts Bowl. They could have ended up playing BYU, which would have been a great game, Notre Dame BYU, but unfortunately they did not want to play it. We don't know if Marcus Freeman was involved in that decision, but their AD is mad. He is saying that they're kind of mad at the ACC. They're mad at the playoff committee. They felt like they were slided and they did not want to play that bowl game. So we will see what happens going forward to the future of bowl games, but also the future of Notre Dame as well. Got a big one. Michigan can't keep their scandals down. Unfortunately, Sharon Moore has been fired and also detained and arrested. It was a crazy scenario. He was having an affair with a staff member, and then that led to him going over there to her house, and then he was, threatening his own life, and it just was a bad situation, nothing you want to see. Don't cheat on your spouse. And yeah, he was having mental health problems, and apparently the AD, Manuel, knew about it for a while. They're investigating that right now to see how much was going on. They've had a lot of scandals over the years, and now you ask yourself, who is the interim coach? They search for their coach at Michigan, and we have our boy Biff Poggi. Biff Poggi, the players love him. He loves his wife. He just wants to go home and eat Haagen-Dazs ice cream after a win. And they are going to be playing in the Cheez-It Bowl against Texas. That will be a great game to watch. Excited for that one. The Heisman winner ended up being Fernando Mendoza. He won with a huge lead. Here is the kind of the votes that we saw. Was definitely proud of Mendoza. He deserved it. Has a great character. He's a great dude. I will say this, in response, Diego Pavia kind of flipped out, acted like a child. He has since put out a statement, but we all know that was probably just for, to make him look a little better. Diego was mad, and Diego, he put up amazing numbers as well this season. But unfortunately, Diego just did not represent himself well, and ultimately I don't think that he deserved the Heisman at the end of the day, and I wish him the best, but you can't look like that, man. When you lose, you gotta lose with a smile, and you gotta lose with humility. And Diego Pavia has a lot to learn. Can I get an F in the chat for Nebraska, everybody? Spam the F button. Unfortunately, Dylan Raiola, after he broke his fibula this season, was out for the rest of the Nebraska season, has announced that he will be entering the transfer portal. We will see where he ends up. Nebraska is going to be looking for a new quarterback to fit the system there, Coach Matt Rule. So I hope the best to him. Go Huskers. So the playoff has been announced. We have our 12 teams. Here's the graphic. Some people, argue, say BYU should have got in. Some people say that Notre Dame should have gotten in, but Alabama and Miami got in. And then we also had JMU and Tulane both get in. And we have some really great games on tonight and tomorrow. I will announce my picks then. But I think the way that we fix the playoff, I kind of have a fix to that. I'm okay with staying with 12 teams if they can make things right, guarantee that conference championship winners get in, maybe not get a bye automatically, but they get in automatically. Also, make room for at-large spots, maybe have some play-ins. I don't know how that would work. Kind of guarantee some things that some people are upset about. We have 2 group of 5 teams in. The system's kind of broken. There are alternatives to that. They could get their own playoff. We could at least let one of them in, making them have to be at least top 15. Nick Saban said yesterday on the Pat McAfee show that he thinks that you got to be at least a top 15 team to make the playoff. He thinks that we should stay at 12. He ultimately was okay with not going to 12 immediately, but here's my fix to how to fix the playoff. I think we need to have 16 teams with no byes. We have 8 first-round games on the higher seeds campus, or should I say games played on campi. Then we will pick 7 bowl games and rotate them each year, and basically see what round the rest of the rounds go to, and which one will be the natty. So we'll pick 7 games. It'll be the Rose Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Fiesta Bowl, and the Citrus Bowl. And then we will have conference champions and the runners-up from all the Power 4 conferences automatically get in. The SEC and the Big Ten will also have 2 other teams that will play for play-in spots. So that'll be 3 versus 6 and 4 versus 5 kind of deal. Those will also be played on campi as well during conference championship weekend. Then we will have 3 at-large spots that will go for like Notre Dame or anybody else from any other conferences. And now with that being said, if you opt to play in one of the playing games for the SEC and the Big Ten, if you lose, you do not get one of the at-large spots. That is kind of negates that game. So unfortunately, if you were like a Vanderbilt and you don't play in that game, then lucky for you, you could get an at-large spot. Finally, we have one group of 5 team in. They get in at 16 to round off the playoff. We also had Nick Saban get inducted into the College Football Hall of Fame. Congrats, Coach. You ultimately deserved it. He's a great guy. He has led Alabama to so many national championships and just done so much for the team and so much for just the world in general of, with Nick's kids and also in the world of college football. We love you, Coach Saban. Congratulations. Also, we had Ty Simpson. He tore his lat, unfortunately. That is the report. I had a source that was saying that before the report had come out. But Ty is saying that he is rested. He said everybody's banged up a little bit. Who isn't? And he says that he's going to be ready to play this Oklahoma game, and he is ready for what's coming. You have also had Coach DeBoer been in the room with the wide receivers. Coach Shepard has gone to Oregon State and has been really out of the rooms there. So DeBoer's kind of stepped into that role with a more hands-on approach. We also have a lot of people saying, could DeBoer go to Michigan? It's an attractive job. Are they going to make an offer? What's going to happen with tonight's game? Ultimately, I don't think DeBoer will leave. He has said he is happy at Alabama. I think he's going to stay. I hope Coach DeBoer is our coach for a long time. I love him. You got to realize he's not going to be Nick Saban, but he is a competitor, and we have to stand behind our coach. Roll Tide. And then moving on, Alabama has hired the former OC of Auburn. So he is going to be the new wide receivers coach, replacing Coach Shepard. And then also Alabama has released our 2026 schedule for the 2026 season. Some exciting games on there: FSU at home, Texas A&M at home, Georgia at home. Some big stuff. Even the Iron Bowl's back at home this year. I think that we will have a pretty tough season. We have to go, Georgia is coming, and then we'll play A&M, and then we get a week off, then we go on the road to LSU and Vandy back to back. So it is a tough schedule, but I think the Crimson Tide can rally and get behind the people they need to get behind, and they can do it. I believe that we will fight through that schedule and we will do amazing things. Okay, guys, prediction time. So, for the game on tonight, we have Alabama at Oklahoma. They are going to Norman. Britt Venables, John Mateer, they're going to try to get things done. Ultimately, I think it will be a close game. I think Oklahoma's defense will put up a fight. We'll see how healthy John Mateer has been after 3 weeks. Hopefully, Alabama, having the last week off, will be able to bounce back from the SEC championship embarrassment game and be able to get those key players we need back. First off, prayers for LT Overton. Not sure what's going on there. I've heard some different things, but prayers for him, prayers for his family. And then also, I think that Alabama, I think Kalen DeBoer, I think Ty Simpson and the boys, they will rally. This will be our bounce back game, and I am picking Alabama to win a close game in Norman. I hope that the turnover battle can stay in our favor. We don't need to have as many turnovers as we had last time, and hopefully we can just get some things cleaned up and just have some guys healed and just make some key plays. Ultimately, there's going to be a game tomorrow at 11. It is going to be the best game of the day, and that is going to be the Miami at Texas A&M game. Very excited about that one. I think that one will also be a fun game to watch. I do think that A&M will have the home field advantage. They have been a little bit more consistent this season, but I do think Miami will put up a fight, Carson Beck. But I think that Marcel Reed and Mike Elko, they will end up getting the job done tomorrow. They will win at home, and then they will make it to the next round. Now, whoever wins that game, they will play Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl, which will be a good one. And then we also have whoever wins the Alabama-Oklahoma game will play Indiana in the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. So that will also be a good game. We have Tulane at Ole Miss. We'll see what happens without Lane Kiffin, Pete Golding's first game as head coach. I think that Ole Miss will win that game. Unfortunately, I don't think that Tulane will win that one, and also I think that John Summerall is kind of ready to move on to his responsibilities at the Florida Gators. Then we have JMU at Oregon. I think that JMU will definitely lose that game. I think Oregon is going to win that one at home in Eugene, and I think that the Ducks will make it to the next round where they will play the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Now, Ole Miss will end up playing, I believe it is Georgia, so that will be a good game as well. And then we have our last game we are going to pick, and it is going to be the coveted Pop-Tarts Bowl. Notre Dame didn't want to play it, but Georgia Tech is going to be playing BYU. And in this game, I am going to pick BYU. I think the Cougs look good, and I think that they will ultimately be able to finish off their season with a win and go into next year with Kalani Sitake and the Crumble Cookie money behind them to kind of dig more into their NIL, and I think that they will finish that season out great. So guys, thank you for watching. I know it has been a little bit more of a quick fire round, but I wanted to get this episode out. I do think that Alabama will hopefully win tonight. I hope that we do great things. I hope we go deeper in the playoff. Now, do I think we're going to win a natty? I'm not saying that, but I do still have faith in this team. Win or lose, Roll Tide, and thank you guys for watching. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We will be back with a new episode after the Christmas holiday. Before, we'll be picking some big games with the second round of the playoff, and then on top of that, we will also be picking a few bowl games. So, see you guys then. We'll have recaps of these games that are going to be taking place this weekend. Roll Tide.